So, what we do here, appreciate you, I appreciate you. What we do here is we're gonna center, then roll through about 50 minutes of movement, maybe a little bit less, we'll see. And then come back down for another meditation, and I'll lead you through that. So you just let me know if the music volumes are okay and all that jazz too. I'm sure you would have said something already, so I'm sure it's fine. Right, so we're gonna keep it short because there's multiple dogs and other humans in this house who need things too, so you know what they say, feed yourself first. That's not a saying, that's my saying. My saying is feed yourself first. Because I'm a bad host. But take care of yourself first. I don't know if that's a saying, but anyway, we're gonna go for a WALK later. It's gonna be great. And we're just gonna get all this energy out. First, we're gonna center. And hydrate. Okay. Cool. So. Alright, so we're gonna find a comfortable seated position. This is angled weird. Okay. Everything that I lead you through in class is an invitation, so don't feel like it has to look any certain type of way. I'm more interested in how it feels in your body, because I want it to be worth it for you in that I want you to feel better when you get up off your mat than you did coming to sit in the first place. So, finding a nice comfortable seat, heart over hips, head over heart. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy. Feel you got a little extra to give today. And we'll start class with 3 deep breaths. You can also close your eyes, recommended. But if that doesn't really work for you, you can just lower your eyes to a soft gaze just beyond your legs. In these 3 cleansing breaths, the inhales in through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and the exhale is an audible sigh out through the mouth as the shoulders drop away. And just let the breath continue in and out through the nose if that's available. I'm turning to a natural pace. And we'll just take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment, here in this space. Begin to allow sounds into your awareness. Perhaps the sound of traffic passing outside the window. Songbirds. Maybe a pet inside playing about. Letting it all in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. Feel the weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. I'm just taking note to work into these spaces that call out for your attention as you move throughout your practice today. And we'll shift the awareness up from the body, Annamaya Kosha, to the energetic level, Pranamaya Kosha. Just noticing where you're at in this moment on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl back into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shift the awareness up to the breath. Just observing inhalations and exhalations, and whatever space in between. And bring that awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise without engaging with them. No need to interact. Observe them from a distance. And just notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not good or bad, not right or wrong. Just something to notice. And we'll bring that awareness back down to the breath. This time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhales fill belly like a balloon inflating. And exhale as release belly button in towards spine. We'll begin our equal parts breath here. The inhale and beginning to give the breath a count, counting silently internally inside your head until you've filled up your lungs to their fullest capacity. Whatever number you've arrived at, 4, 16, 7, whatever it might be, match the length of the exhalation to that inhalation. You just continue like this, attempting to slow down and deepen the breath. Stay seated up tall, crown of the head being pulled up towards the sky. Jaws relaxed, a little space between top and bottom teeth. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. And if the mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to your counting. And the next time you exhale, no rush to get there. Just release any effort from the breath, any counting, any effort. Returning to a natural pace. Bring your hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers and the thumbs pressed into the sternum. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. Your reason for showing up to the mat today. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're welcome to chant with me. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, left ear towards left shoulder. Just allowing the head to roll side to side. Good morning, Oya Hydrangeia. Welcome to class. Great to have you. So we're just letting the head roll side to side, nice and gentle here. Just beginning to open up the space between the ears and shoulders, that trapezius muscles. Okay. And the next time the head rolls through center, you can bring it up to neutral, and we'll just begin to roll the shoulders forward. Press play. All right, everyone calm down. And you can roll your shoulders back. Okay, nice. Okay, you guys are going out in literally 2 minutes. I'm just gonna need you not to jump on top of me. Okay, we're going now. I would not be the alpha in a wolf pack. Okay. So we're just rolling your shoulders back and stop. And we'll bring the shoulders to stillness. Can't do this. Stop! Okay. Or bring our hands up overhead. And exhale over to the right, left arm reaching over. Bring it back up through center. And exhale over to the left. So just opening up the body side to side, following the breath. I'm offline. I'm online. Okay. So we're just rolling with the punches today. The dog fights and the internet. So hopefully you're feeling that too in your life. You're not alone. So just opening up the side body with these lateral stretches, side bends. And the next time your arms come up through center, we'll give it a twist to the right. Left hand lands on the right knee, right hand lands behind you, chest opens to the side. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale to the left. Inhaling through center. Pumpers use tackle and was extremely effective. Awesome. I love the puppy yoga. Yep. It was very effective, extremely effective, is right. So just using the breath to bring you back up. And exhale to twist. Just like wringing out a sponge or twisting in the spine. And the next time the hands come through center, we'll bend in the elbows, hands come towards the ears, and we're just giving the hands a wave. Then palms come down, and we're wiggling fingers from side to side. So we're just waking up the hands and all the ligaments. palms flip towards the sky, fingers are pressed back as far as they can go, and we're just rotating side to side, just opening up the wrists, forearms. We're just going to shake off water. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's bring the legs out in front. It means begin to spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Just waking up the bottoms of the feet. Bending in the knees, feet come mat distance apart, and we're just dropping the knees side to side. Allowing the hips to open. As the knees fall over to the right, make sure both knees are in contact with the ground or the mat below you. Right hand comes to the ground close behind you, and left arm sweeps up as the hips and chest rise. And I'm just going to give it 3 big circles with this left arm. Let the hips touch back down to the ground. Knees come over to the other side. Left hand on the ground close to your left hip. Hips and chest rise. And 3 big circles with the right arm. Hips touch down, other side, hips rise, chest rises, same just for a stretch. Back down through center, over to the left, inhale and rise. And back down through center. Knees come over to the right, hands come to frame the puppers use tackle and it was extremely effective. Yes, I read that, but every time I read it, it's still true. Hands come to frame that front knee, and we'll bring it into our tabletop pose. Wrists below shoulders and knees below hips. On an inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. Exhaling, round in the spine, chin tucks towards chest, rounding for cat. On the inhale, I'm pressing my hands into the ground and pulling back. I'm pressing my knees into the ground and pressing forward, like I'm trying to scrunch my mat together for a grip to get deeper into the arch of this cow pose. On the exhale, my hands are pressing down and forward, my knees are pressing down and back, for the grip to get deeper into the rounding of my spine in cat pose. Following the breath, in for cow, out for cat, and beginning to connect the speed of your body to the length of your breath. And the next time you exhale into your cat pose, let it be your last. And return to a neutral tabletop position. Right arm sweeps open towards the sky. And exhale, reach through the space towards the left without landing. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach. Inhale, open. Exhale, this time, reach the hand through and land for your thread the needle pose. So I'm landing the side of my head and the back side of my arm, of my right arm, onto the ground. This left hand presses the chest open. So I'm trying to stack shoulder over shoulder. Knees are directly below the hips. We don't let them move from there. And there's an option here to reach the arm up overhead. I like grabbing my mat. I just like having like some resistance to deepen the stretch. Alternately, the back of your hand can come to your lower back, or even slide past your lower back to grab your inner right thigh. But to do that, you have to bring your chest closer to the ground or sacrifice that left shoulder over right shoulder positioning. It's not worth it. Any changes or quote-unquote advancements in the posture should be in service to how they make your body feel, not necessarily how pretty the posture looks. Then we can play a bit with this by extending the left leg long. And I just like keeping my foot on the ground for a moment, just getting a nice little calf stretch. So I'm really pressing my foot into the ground. I'm pressing the back of my knee towards the ceiling, keeping it real straight so we can get a nice deep calf stretch. And then to play with balance, I might point the toe, just beginning to levitate the foot up off the ground. I'm using this bottom arm as a kickstand. I might slowly lift the leg towards the sky. All the while breathing and without momentum. So if you kick up strong, you're probably going to land on your butt, which is okay, but not ideal. Just breathing fully here. And we'll slowly reverse, letting the foot float down. Knee touches down, hand comes back underneath the shoulder. Right arm sweeps open, and that hand touches down as well. So, left arm sweeps open towards the sky. Exhale, reach the arm through without landing. And inhale back up through center, rather towards the sky. Exhale, weave. Inhale, open. And exhale, landing in thread the needle pose. Side of the head lands down. The left shoulder lands down. Whole back of the arm is pressing strong into the ground. Right hand pressing the earth away, keeping this right shoulder stacked over the left shoulder or towards that. So it's a spinal twisting movement. Hand can also go up overhead, or back of the hand can come to the lower back, or even slide back to grab that inner left thigh. And to play with balance here, the right leg can extend straight. So pressing my feet into the ground, my toes into the ground, press my ankle back like my ankle's going to touch the ground rather, is what I'm trying to say. And the back of the knee is pressed up towards the sky, trying to get the leg really straight to get that nice calf stretch. And we'll gently float the foot up, so to point the toes to begin, and then slowly levitate the leg up. We'll release in reverse, floating the foot down. Knees touch down. Right hand comes down in front of the face. Left arm sweeps open. And exhale, hands down to the ground for tabletop pose. So I'm just turning around so I can keep facing the, the screen, but you definitely don't have to. And we'll let the right foot come up between the hands. And tucking the left toes under, just bring that leg back a bit so we can find our low lunge on Asana. Right knee stacked over right hip. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in the left thigh. It doesn't have to be your deepest stretch because as we come up, you'll feel it even more. We're bringing shoulders up over the hips. Arms can sweep up on the inhale. And exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot or onto blocks. And we send the hips up and back, straightening out this front right leg. Flexing the foot and send that right hip back, left hip forward, squaring the hips for Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. So we're only here for a half breath because we're going to go back through our low lunge. So we're stretching the hips forward, the front of the left thigh, option to bring hands up. And then on the exhale, sending the hips up and back, arms down, legs straight. So smoothing this out at your own pace, calibrating to your own breath. Inhale brings your soft forward to rise. Exhale, down to stretch. And the next time your hands come down and your right leg extends straight, we'll stay here and breathe a while. So I'm keeping my hips up over my knee. If your hips are down by your heel or like you've come to sit or anything like that, then what you're going to want to do is drag your right foot forward and then pull it back until you feel your hip over your knee. Then you shouldn't really be able to go further than this without dragging your foot, so you really want that heel digging into the ground. And like I said before, so we're pressing the left hip forward, pulling the right hip back. You feel a deep stretch in the back of your leg here. And give the foot a windshield wiper motion side to side. Just notice where you feel that. You can point and flex the foot. And then the next time it's flexed, we'll take a nice deep breath here. When you exhale, it's like a nose towards toes type action. It's okay if the leg is not straight. We're just working towards straightening out this right leg. And we'll bend in the right knee. Left toes tuck under and step the left foot up to meet the right. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Right foot takes a giant step back. We'll release the right knee down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Left knee over left ankle. And we're pressing it up to our low lunge on Asana. Arms can sweep up if you'd like. This is optional. Your hands can actually stay on your knee the entire time if that's easier for you. but it just feels good in my shoulders and upper chest and upper back, so I love doing it. When you exhale, the hands come down. They can come down onto stacked blocks as well if that's easier for you than touching the floor. And send the hips up and back for Ardha Hanumanasana. So my hips already go back beyond this knee. So I drag my foot forward so that my left hip is in front of the right. And then I drag the foot back using just like my hip mobility to find that correct alignment with the knee and hips. And then we're just pressing from side to side, from edge to edge, following the breath. Inhales through low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhales through half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. So Hanuman is the monkey-faced king in Hinduism, and a great friend to Rama, a hero, and in step humankind. He helps slay some demon gods, and demon kings rather, and yeah, he's like a joyous, great guy. And full split is named after him. So Hanuman's pose, Hanumanasana, is a full split. This is just our half split. But yeah, that's where the name comes from. So just learning to flow with a calibrated breath and body awareness. Next time you're in this Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split, stay there. So the foot flexes, the hips square, and you can windshield wiper the foot side to side. Point and flex the foot. Once you come to stillness, take a deep breath in and exhale, folding over. Nose towards toes type movement. And breathing fully here. Don't hold your breath. It's very tempting to want to hold the breath when we're in a difficult position or something uncomfortable. We think it'll make it easier, but it actually is harder for your body to function without all the oxygen that it needs. So bend in that left knee. Right toes tuck under. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. One vertebra at a time. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. I think that's better. You have to see what I'm up to. Cool. So we'll turn to face one another and just take a big step out with the whichever foot where you have space on your mat. How about that? Okay. Arms open up like the letter T. So my feet are facing the long edge. Is that better? Yeah. The long edge of the mat. They're parallel to one another. If anything, they might be slightly pigeon-toed in, which means the heels are a little bit out further than the toes. Not this much. I'm just exaggerating to show you. Yeah? Okay. So the feet are going to pull in towards center. Like I'm trying to drag the mat together as I hinge from the hips. So I'm coming down with a super flat back. When you can't go any further, like if you went any further, your back would start to round. Just take a deep breath in here. Still the legs are engaged, pulling in. And then exhale, allow your back to round, your hands to come down. So just show you from the side. So, legs are engaged. So it takes some like inner thigh strength to really pull the legs in together and hold that pressure in the legs the whole way down. So get about halfway or wherever you feel you couldn't go any further. Take a deep breath in and release. So I'm letting the back round but not the knees. Prasarita Padottanasana. So the backs of my legs are still straight. Hands can come down. It's okay if they don't touch the ground. They can come down onto blocks, or you can just hang here. However, a couple things. If you are hanging here, right, which is where we're heading kind of towards, we don't want to be in complete like submission or completely letting gravity just do its thing, because we don't want to stress out our joints. So how do we avoid doing that? We send the hips and the weight forward towards the toes without lifting the heels. So the feeling is that you would keep going this way, but you're not going to because your heels are glued and committed to the ground. There's still some effort in the legs. So maybe instead of pulling in towards center in your body, it feels better to press out to the side, to the pinky side edges. That's great too. For me, coming down, it's easier to squeeze in towards center. And then once I'm in the fold, it's easier for me to press out to the pinky side edges. That's not the right way, it's just an option. If you are pressing, touching the ground, notice if you're pressing away. And then just notice, like, why are you pressing away? Is because there's something painful in the back of the knees, in the hamstring, you're protecting yourself, okay, valid. Or are you just doing it automatically? Because maybe actually where you're trying to head is more flexibility and more stretch, more length in the back of the legs. Then just notice you're actually pushing your goal away by pressing away. So you can avoid this by coming into that ragdoll positioning with the arms. Or you can even reach the hands out for opposite, for the feet. So from the side, so you see what I'm talking about. The dogs are so wet and they just shook and got spit, dirt, and fur all over me. Yay, love you guys so much. Okay, go ahead. That was like solid SeaWorld splash zone. Okay, awesome. So yeah, we're just loving it. I'm just rolling with it. Okay, so from the side, so you're going to see what I'm talking about. Not the mud, the pose. Go. So, looks like it was a good walk. So you might be reaching for opposite ankles or feet. And then if you do have this grip, you can pull yourself even closer down. So pull yourself even closer to the ground, like your chest is going to touch the ground. If your head hits the ground, okay, mine does, I'm just going to bring my feet a little bit closer together so that there's space for me to play with pulling my chest towards my legs. So I know we've been in this for a minute. Don't pop up whatever you do because you're going to get lightheaded. So we just got another breath or so here. Prasarita Padottanasana. Standing wide angle fold. Then bringing the hands to the ground. Come to a halfway lift type feeling in the back. So you might come onto tented fingertips. Nice and long in the spine. And now press the feet in towards one another again. So I'm trying to squeeze my legs in together. Arms open up like the letter T. Pressure in the legs, not the lower back. We bring it all the way up to stand. Nice. Heels come in, toes come out, like 45 degrees. And listen to your knees over my voice. We're coming down to a deep squat. Get this out of the way. There we go. Cool. So, however you get there is just fine, and you can rearrange a bit too, like if that's not quite the right positioning for you. Arms are on the insides of the knees, and then you might be able to bring your toes a little bit more forward so they're not completely splayed open to the side. And I'm just pressing my elbows into the inside of the knees. Malasana, deep squat, giving it a little rock side to side, like a frog on a lily pad. If you're like, what the, how do I even get into this? Don't get too hung up on like the rocking side to side, like that just feels good in my body. Right now your focus is getting your heels to the ground. So how do you do that? I'll show you from the side. Usually when you're like up on your toes, you're like leaning forward. So what we want to do is lean back. Luna, go. Go. You're literally right in front of what I'm showing. Come here. Thank you. Okay. So when you lean, oh, so much dog breath in my face right now. Okay. When you lean forward, you're bringing your weight into your toes. You want to lean back. So you want to get your chest up over your hips. So that's going to help in the first place. But it's going to take a lot of knee dexterity to have your knees folded this deeply, and ankle flexibility too. So we've been working on stretching out the calves and whatnot. So that should help. But I just use my body as leverage as well. So as my hips come down, my chest comes up. It's like a seesaw. Malasana. And if your heels are nowhere close to the ground, you can always place a towel below the feet, so that you have something for your heels to press into. And don't worry, we're just here for like one more deep breath. And hands release onto the mat. We'll extend the legs straight and roll all the way up to stand. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Too much. Okay. It's hard. Great. And inhale, the arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, the right arm sweeps under the left arm, reaching in opposite directions. Backs of the hands come together. And then the right hand comes in towards the forehead and loops in front, so it's palm to palm. Eagle arms. Alternately, you can grab opposite shoulders if that feels better for you. And here, just like play around a little bit, bringing the elbows up, all the way down. You can draw a circle with them and just check out that left shoulder. That's finding a place in between. We'll bend in the knees nice and deep and open the right knee out to the side. Cross this right leg high over the left thigh. And the foot presses back behind you. Maybe the foot hooks behind the calf. Alternately, crossing the legs like you're sitting in a chair. The toes can just gently be touching the ground. Once here, we're bringing everything towards center line. So knees come towards center, elbows come towards center. When am I talking about center? I'm talking about like belly button. If there was a line from your belly button to the floor and to the ceiling, trying to get the knees and the elbows to intersect that line. Garudasana Eagle Pose. So it might feel like you were trying to stand straight, and that's going to make this pose actually more difficult. The deeper you bend in that bottom knee, the more you actually are kind of like sitting in a chair, and that's going to actually allow you to hold this pose a little easier. So we just got a full breath here. I'm going to release in reverse. Uncross this leg, unlock the arms. Arms come up overhead, and exhale, the left arm sweeps under the right arm. Backs of the hands come together, and the left hand comes in towards the forehead and wraps around so I can get palm to palm. Alternately, you can grab the shoulders. You know what's up with your body better than I do, of course. Take a nice deep bend in the knees, like you're sitting into a chair. Left knee opens out to the side, and then a high cross over the right thigh. If it's pressing back, maybe the toes touch down to a block or the ground. Alternately, the foot can hook behind the calf, or just be working towards the hook behind the calf the whole time. Knees and elbows are moving in towards center. Oh, we forgot to do circles with this arm, so for a balance challenge, you can play with a little movement in the elbows, mindful of that right shoulder. The deeper you sit, the tighter this pose is. Garudasana Eagle Pose. Fully breathing here. And just resetting as necessary. We'll release in reverse, unhook the leg, release the arms, stretching tall, and exhale, the arms release down by the sides. We'll just give a shake out to the hands, shake out to the legs, just releasing any tension that was built up during that eagle pose. And we'll bring a shake to the whole body as we get our lymphatic shaking part of practice. So I'm just letting the whole body jiggle here. So I just lift my shoulders and let them drop. Lift my heels and let the heels drop, allowing a reverberation through the whole body. So we're looking for that jiggle. You can like fully hop too. If you're in that fully hopping mood, you're welcome to it. So we're just releasing tension, allowing the lymphatic system to drain, shaking out any stuck energy. We're going to come into our breath of joy, which is our 4-part breathing. And it looks like this. On the inhale, breathing in through the nose, arms sweep up and forward. You breathe in just a third of your air. Next inhale, no exhale in between. Arms sweep open to the sides, another 30% of the air in. And then arms sweep forward, the last third of the air. Inhale, so I'm at a full inhalation here, and a big ha, arms sweep back. And it's like a yell out, full yell out, yeah? So it looks like inhale, 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 ha, yeah? Inhale. Inhale, inhale, ha, in, ha, in, ha. haven't joined in yet, now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha! So allow your feet to come nice and wide, firmly planted on the ground. Eyes can close, hand to the heart, hand to the belly. Just take a moment here to arrive and observe what was created. A rise in heart rate, breath rate, perhaps body temperature, but what else? Taking your body as a snow globe and giving it a righteous shake. Now we observe to see where that glitter dust settled. What was revealed? We'll gently blink the eyes open. So whatever reveals itself to you or doesn't reveal itself to you, it's not good or bad, right or wrong. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It's just something to notice. So there's no need to add judgment to ourselves or our lives in this practice. Yeah, I got enough of that going on, I'm sure. So you might take a sip of water, towel off, got a little sweat building up. We're going to come down to the mat. If you're already on the ground, stay there and I'll meet you. And single once. Okay. All right. Like I said, if you're already on the ground, just stay there. I'll meet you. Deep. Oh, it's hard for me to express how much actual mud is on my hat right now.
Same place.
Arigato. All right. If you're not on the ground yet, we'll come down together. Arms sweep up when you get there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, hands come down to the ground, knees bend deep, 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 so deep that we come down to seated. Hello. We'll bring the feet to touch. Allow the knees to open up for our Baddha Konasana bound ankle pose. So it's like you're making a diamond with the legs. Thank you, assistant. All right. I'm giving my feet just like a little massage. So I drove for like 10 hours the other day, and partner yoga, just like sitting right up against my butt. Excellent. I'm just realizing like how much tighter my right foot is, like the arch of my right foot is, than my left. So it's just interesting. Like if you're someone who regularly drives, then this might also be a physical phenomena that you experience. Oh, your wet, muddy paw. Thank you. Okay. So we're just going to take a deep breath in and get tall. And exhale, hinging forward. I'm going to press my elbows into my knees to bring them closer to the ground. Doesn't matter if they touch or not. Mine don't touch, and I've been working like in that direction for 17 years. And it's all good. Like I still love this pose, even though it doesn't look like the textbook version of it. Like, it's still really nice. Feels great on my hips. If I let my head be heavy, sometimes it's too much for my lower back. in which case I'm just trying to bring my nose towards past my toes. And just let my shoulders melt away. I'm not trying to push my knees down with all of my strength or anything. I'm just kind of letting gravity do its thing. And every exhale is just an opportunity to let something go. Maybe a furrowing in the eyebrow or a clenching in the jaw. And bring ourselves back up to seated. Lucy, can you just come to lay down over here maybe? No, don't roll over. Just go sit down there. Okay. Smoosh. Just a little bit. I just need a little bit of space. Thank you. Come here. Thank you. Okay. So, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Make sure there's nothing behind you like a dog. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to lean back to come into our Savasana boat pose. So I'm leaning back far enough that my tailbone hits the ground. We're bringing the shins up parallel to the ground. Shoulder blades are kind of squeezed together, so my back's doing some of the work here. Deep breath in, just holding it here. And the exhale, we release the hands. Inhale, sustain. Exhale, straighten the legs out just a bit, opening up the angle of the V just a bit. Inhale, sustain. Exhale, open up a little bit more. Inhale, hold it. Exhale, widen. Inhale, hold. Exhale, widen. Inhale, hold. And then full body stretch, released all the way down. And then just notice. Nope, that's a lie. We're gonna bring the knees in. We're all gonna do this together. And then bring the knees over to the left. Right arm opens up like the letter T. Pressing this right shoulder down to the ground. I'm just letting the weight of my left hand on my right knee hold the legs in place, but it doesn't matter if the knees are touching the ground or not. It doesn't matter if the knees are touching one another. Everything in this position is completely up to gravity and the breath. And I'm really just working towards pressing this right shoulder down towards the ground. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. We'll let the knees come over to the right. Left arm opens up like the letter T. You may even look over that shoulder. Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. Just notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or stretch that your body is calling for? And allow yourself to move through that now. It doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name, it doesn't have to have a name at all.
Just whatever's gonna work for you. Whatever, we tell our bodies what to do all class, and here's this opportunity. Just let your body tell you what it wants to do. Just give yourself a moment to roll through that. And working to make any preparations necessary for Savasana, final relaxation pose. And that might look like putting on socks or laying a blanket up over your body, as your body temperature will lower in this next pose. It looks like letting the legs come down the length of the mat, feet at least a foot apart, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Propping up the knees if laying flat on your back is something that bothers you, because we're not putting a pillow behind the head or anything like that. The head's flat on the same plane as the chest and heels. You can place a rolled up towel or a blanket below your knees, lengthening the lower back. Tuck the shoulders under, so shoulder blades are really supporting your chest here. And the arms land, palms face up, hands at least 6 inches from the body. And the palms up is a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Head lands centered. I like giving my chin just a little tuck in so that the cervical spine, the neck, all those little neck bones have a little bit extra space. And the gaze is straight up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Eyes can close. That's the recommendation, but if that's uncomfortable for you, just a soft gaze will do. Not looking at anything in particular.
And you stay laying down. I'm just coming up to seated so that I can more easily speak to you and lead you through this, as well as play some Tibetan singing bowls for you. So we'll start this practice just as we did the last grounding practice, and that's with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. Allow the breathing to continue in and out just through the nose if that's available. Inviting the exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Every exhale sinks you deeper and heavier to the ground below you. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth, a symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind. We're just letting him sit out for this. And the muscles surrounding the lips and cheeks relax. And the nose and nostrils relax as well, allowing air to gently pass through, like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching.
space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles in the forehead relax. And all the muscles surrounding the ears, with all their wrinkles and folds. Sound traveling in through the ear canals. It all rests. And the back of the head and muscles at the top of the head relax as well. Neck and throat release. Shoulders, shoulder blades, and the space in between all melt away. And upper arms and elbows relax. Lower arms and wrists release. And the palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, all rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back, rest heavy. Chest gently rises and falls, perhaps imperceptibly. Belly naturally rises and falls with the breath. Hips, pelvis, glutes rest heavy, supported by the earth below. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles relax. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds. Tops of the feet and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. Invite your inhalations to deepen. Become longer than your exhalations. Every inhale, bringing your awareness to the surface front side of your body, and that feeling of heaviness replaced with the feeling of lightness and openness. As fingers begin to wiggle and toes, let the head gently rock side to side. And arms can reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Let your knees to bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you may have set for class, or take this opportunity to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. Gently, with eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of leg opening postures, but really a whole body, full body practice. A bit of an extra focus on forward folds as well. So the first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort you put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to the community, to everyone that held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me this morning. I hope you found something that serves you. As always, I stuck around a little bit to answer questions about the practice, about the philosophy, about the movement, shaken, anything, you know? And also I'm just letting stream catch up, because they're at like I think we're at like we're at like a 4 to 6 minute delay. But you know what? We're gonna be traveling. The dojas and I are gonna be traveling to the mountains in the next couple of days. So I'm just kind of rolling with it. I'm hoping that the connection's not too bad on your end. I am recording all of these, or I have been recording so far. So if the connection is really bad, just message me or like tell me in the chat, and then I can always send you a recording of the class. Usually I use it for tips, but I know these are kind of extraneous circumstances, so I don't want to, the connection issues can be really frustrating, and as much as I love, and my MO is definitely to bring people into discomfort and learn to be there. It helps with classes actually functioning, so just let me know and I'll send you the link once it's uploaded. Not sure if I'm going to be able to record classes when I actually am up in the mountains. It's going to be like bordering Utah, just kind of like middle of nowhere kind of stuff, so I'm going to do the best that I can, like we all do, right? But I will be here tomorrow, same time, same place. And I appreciate you. Thank you, Oya Hydrangea, for practicing with me today, and also dropping my Venmo and the tips information in the chat. You are the realest. It does really help me out, guys. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to send out those recordings and whatnot, you know. So yeah, you guys are still watching me play singing bowls, so I'm gonna hang out a little bit longer, so that you can hear my little speech and actually ask me whatever questions you may have. Stop.